You are listening to Plantastic Events podcast, episode number 13. Hey everyone, welcome to Plantastic Events. I'm your host, Yotin Srivanjarean. This is a weekly podcast dedicated to help you plan your events with ease. Be sure to subscribe at stujap.com and stay up to date. That's stujap.com. Plus, you'll receive tons of resources, freebies, guides, and show notes. Thank you for joining, and now let's get into this show. Hey everyone, I'm your host, Yotin Srivanjarean, and today our guest is Yotin Srivanjarean. He is the Vice President at the Center for Pan-Asian Community Services, also known as CPACS. CPACS is a private nonprofit based in Atlanta, Georgia. CPACS is actually the first, largest, and oldest organization in the Southeast to focus on issues and concerns of Asian Americans, especially women, children, and families with low incomes. CPACS also hosts a number of events for fundraising or raising public awareness about a particular issue. Yotin, I just want you to know that I've known you for many, many years, but just getting to know you and having that opportunity, I've known that you're probably one of the hardest working people I know. I have definitely sent, because I used to work for CPACS, by the way, listeners, and I had a wonderful time. It was probably one of my favorite jobs. And just having, because I had a chance to interact directly with the community, and I absolutely love that. But even more so having to work with people like you.
Thank you.
I think in particular just with you, I would send you emails sometimes even in the middle of the night, and you would respond immediately. And I'm like, how does this guy do it? I want to be like him. So just being honest and truthful here, you truly inspired me. And, always kept my hopes up and always said that even if I had tough moments at CPACS, you were always there to support me. And I truly am thankful for that. So thank you for being there for me. But
that was really sweet, really sweet.
Thank you, Yotin. My first question to you is just how are you doing today?
Doing well, a little bit nervous, but to be honest,
okay.
But I'm really ready to go.
You're always ready to go. That's in your blood. It's your personality.
Right.
Can I ask what inspired you to join CPACS, and how many events have you worked with, through CPACS in general?
Sure. First of all, again, this is Yotin. So really, my background is from the journalist background that I have from Thailand. I was interviewing a lot of NGOs, workers in Thailand. And I was thinking that, one day if I don't do the journalist or reporter or different type of writing in Thailand, taking a picture, traveling around the country, I want to work at nonprofit.
Yeah.
And I saw them passion. I saw their commitment to the communities. I was thinking that when I get older, which means that maybe about 28 or 30 years old.
Older.
Yeah, exactly. When I was get older, I want to move to work with nonprofit sectors,
Right.
and that's here I come. And talking about how many events we have done or I have done with CPACS, particularly, I have been there for 17 years. So I was just saying that
17 years.
17
wow.
years. So about at least 5 events per year. So it's about 85 events, basically.
Wow.
So it's a lot of events, right? Per year we have a different, a walk. We have, of course, one of the biggest one we probably going to talk about it later on is T.E.A. And we have a parade. We have a fundraising event.
Wow.
We have health fair, some of those. Even we have a town hall meeting, meeting with the city, with the government sectors. And we have awareness months, where
Right.
we're gathering for different health issue or different, issue that we talk about in the community and more. So all of that.
Oh, wow. That's actually very impressive. I'm just curious because you came from a journalistic background and then you've been with CPACS for 17 years. That's truly very impressive. How did you shift from, I guess, your journalism career, is that still kind of like, innate within you, or do you still feel like the journalistic abilities are there that you sometimes shine through, like at CPACS?
I think that being journalist for over 7 and 8 years in Thailand helping me a lot, especially when I have to, compiling a proposal, knowing the issue in the community, and even including presenting the issues to the funder, being reporter, collecting that interview, writing the articles, for 7 years helped me a lot.
Really?
And buying interview someone from the president of what we call prime minister in Thailand.
Yeah.
On the top until you interviewing someone who live in the slum of Bangkok, where the low income areas. So I did all of those. So it's helped me see different type of people and also different type of issues. I think that's helped me a lot to be success at CPACS. I would say, yeah.
Wow, that is really cool. Good to know that. And I know that CPACS does a number of different events, but my question is just, do you raise like money for a particular cause or a current event, especially knowing the political climate right now? Does CPACS host any events similar to that? And if so, can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. I guess for the political awareness, not particularly that political awareness events that we do, but more toward what we call civic engagement.
Civic engagement, right? Yes.
So basically, we make sure that the citizen, including the Asian American, Hispanic American, whoever that may not know about the responsibility of being citizen, that we would love to help them doing what we call the voter mobilization. So we assisting those people to register to vote. We educating the community on how important of the civic engagement. Make sure that they know their right. That part of that. Right. And it just, I guess that you're talking about many good ways to raise money for the cause. For me, myself, and also for CPACS that we've been doing, we usually talking about holistic approach.
Okay.
Which means that we need to do our research first, what we do, on the topic issue. And then we try to raise money for what? Knowing also potential donor background really important for us, their economical, their interest, their background, like I mentioned before, and really be creative, on the event. Look at the trends. Have you done that? Important enough to also engaging the communities and also maybe engaging the donors too. Some donors want to be involved so they can see the process and then find a way, of course, really important, utilizing volunteers.
Right.
Many people don't know the powerful of volunteers, so how to maximize that capacity,
Right.
And most important, how many times that we have to consider the timing. Do you want to do the fundraising when people do a lot of shopping during Christmas? Maybe not, because people was like,
busy
thinking
with
about
everything else.
And do you want to do the fundraising right after Christmas shopping, like January? No, people was like broke from Christmas, right? And so you want to think about, well, in that case, you want to wait a little bit after the tax season done. They get the tax money around April, something May. So you want to, you have to take everything to that consideration.
Right.
That you cannot just like, oh, I want to do it in January because it's cold. This theme is go with the cold weather.
Yeah.
But then you're not gonna get any audience you want or any money that you're looking for to raise. Does that make sense? Yeah.
That does make sense. I'm actually impressed. I didn't even think about all of those different things to consider the time frame to have a fundraising event. My other question is just, I know that you mentioned, having the civic engagement piece and going out for voter registration. Can you talk a little bit about, knowing the situation that we're in right now, the political climate that we're in right now? Voting was critical, especially in the past, just political campaigns that were going on. What were some of the things that CPACS did to increase that, increase people to vote, especially in communities that, tend to have different languages, or it's like challenging a little bit. Like, can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure, and I think that's a really good question. We're working with diverse communities, as you're aware of. One thing that we want to be clear that we are non-profit 501c3, so we are non-partisan. So what our job is basically to educate and to advocate as well. So our tactic of make sure that people know the right of voting, and is that number one, we work with different communities that speak different language. We have to make sure at least 5 to 7 languages available for those big target population that we talk about, based on what? Based on U.S. Census, based on data that you find about who in that community that have issue with understanding the language, and working with also community leaders within that community, really important. Association, those group of people. So collaborating become really more important and become crucial for us, because without those collaborations, we wouldn't be able to work with different diverse communities. So for us, the key is to just make sure that spread the word out as much as we could. Use social media for certain group of people.
Right.
It's not just only everyone that using one social media. So you have to look into this community would use this type of social media.
They use Instagram, they use Facebook, they use Twitter, they use everything you could possibly imagine.
Exactly, and some of them use certain app and the communication they call could be Line, Line,
and I was heard of that.
I know, right? And then I just learned too that I thought Line, Line, the app for communication like WhatsApp, that everyone would use Line too, but no, I was told that only Thai community, Japanese community,
that's hard.
Right?
Yeah.
Japanese community and certain South American community use it, Hispanic. And that's something I learned too, that okay, and then this community we use something else that call different name that I am not aware of. So I need to know that. We need to know, to be able to hit all the communities.
That's a challenge.
It
I mean,
is.
I wouldn't even imagine how many different types of social media sites there are, especially that others use in different cultures, and how do you identify those and how do you work around that? I mean, we'll talk a little bit more about this, but that's just something of interest, It's just makes me a little bit more curious. My other question is, I know you mentioned T.E.A, and I wanted to talk a little bit about that, if that's okay with you.
Yes.
And I don't remember how many volunteers you have. I think it's a significant amount. But I wanted to know, how do you recruit, train, and manage all of those different volunteers? And I know I've participated in T.E.A before, but to see that life, that joy, every volunteer there is excited to be there. They're excited for the cause that they're there for. I just wanted to hear your thoughts on, all about T.E.A.
Sure. And, I love to talk about T.E.A, and my colleague probably at work can talk more about this event. This is going to be our 14th annual of T.E.A. So
what does T.E.A stand for? I'm sorry to interrupt
I know, right?
you.
No problem at all. I'm glad
I know
you
what
asked.
it means, but I want to hear from you.
If not, I will forget.
There you go. And please don't kill me.
No. It's together empowering all. We used to call together.
Right.
I know, right? We used to call together empowering Asian American.
Yeah, that's what
and
I remember.
And then we found out that are we gonna be include everyone who come to the walk, because our walkers now expanded to not just only Asian American. We have a Hispanic, we have African American, we have other folks. So that's why we thought out, we want to say together empowering all.
I love it. I love it. Yeah,
so
it's awesome.
and a lot of recruiting, of course, social media has become really important. And I mentioned before, our community leaders and partners, including our clients too, almost every single one that become interact with us, we consider inviting to T-Walks. So we make sure our staff, have available of any material that they can send it to the client, they can give it to the clients, again, in different language, at least 5 language. So to be able to do that. And I guess this event, if cannot be done, if it's not because of our CEO, her vision, Chaiwan Kim. Right, exactly. You used to work with her.
I know her very well. I still talk to her.
So, and of course our VP, Victoria, and our team who worked really hard in the past 2 or 3 years. Karuna, Sarah, Dana, Wat. Basically,
a lot of new folks. I didn't know.
I know, exactly. So those people basically secure the money, the budget, the funding, sponsors. Those folk make sure that we have at least 25,000 per year to just run this event. And we have been able to secure that 25,000 from the sponsorship, donors. So luckily everyone worked really hard to do that. Anyway, so we train and managing volunteers for this big event and large event. I'm gonna be honest that we need a lot of improvement. We still have to look into different tools and help or assistance, and I guess that's why we're here today
too.
I know, right? And that's why that we would have a discussion with you and your company that what can we work together to sort of maximize our event for a better, over 100 volunteers, you heard about it. And seriously, a lot of times we have difficulty to manage because our team are really small. Manpower, those staff that I mentioned to you before, they have a committee, and those committee of staff basically meet during lunchtime, and that's only time they can meet. Beside that, they have full-time job. That's what
difficult.
Exactly. So therefore, I guess having them to explore to different tools and assistants and professional that can help them with managing volunteers and managing the event is going to be something that we want to look into seriously when we start, have a meeting. The committee, hopefully they can start the meeting at the end of this month, if not like beginning of next month. So that's why I guess we're here to sort of like, see if there's potential for partnership that we can work together on this big event. And again, if for those of you who might not know that, we start this event with 250 attendees.
Wow.
So last year we have over 3,000 attendees, or what we call the walkers.
Nice.
So 3,000 walkers, come together, walk. Imagine that we close one of the highway, and walk for 2 miles back and forth, and then busy road, everyone can see us, and then
they join from there.
Exactly. The police will accommodate us, and then they have the banner to advocate for different issues that they have. Again, this is not a political walk, but it is the walk of empowering, the walk of unity, and the walk of like solidarity. Thank you. So that's how we want to come together to show that the Asian community in Georgia or Atlanta and other community can come together and sort of showing that we are here to be a good citizen, to engage in the society, and we want to be part of it. Please, consider us to be one of the resident here, and then we work with you. Obviously, we want to see that we empowering each other to do well. Including civic engagement, including, be a good citizen that I mentioned. That's what we want people to see us.
I love it all. And I think even though you have, sometimes the staff may be a little bit short, they're so impactful. They do so much work. Like all of you guys have worked such like incredibly well, how it's just tremendous. Like the type of work that you do and how you impact the community and how you truly make a difference is huge. And the commitment level that's involved with that is truly very like impressive to me.
Thank you.
And guys, I know if you haven't heard of T.E.A, go there, check them out. They're freaking amazing. The work that they do is just really nice to see. They have a lot of cool things too that they hand out, and I know that everyone's actively involved from like early morning, right? Like what
Yes.
time is it usually?
Really good question, and I almost forget about it to tell you when. So
Yeah.
I would say our 14th annual T-Walk is going to be the second Saturday of October, which it has been on the second Saturday of October. For this year, it's going to be October 13,
Okay,
and it's going to be
October
from
13.
9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at CPACS office. You can go to CPAC website and check it out as well. It's CPACS.org, and you can also check T-Walk 2017 as of now to see what was it like at T-Walk, and T-Walk spelled T.E.A. and
Like
walk.
tea.
Yeah,
right?
like tea. You drink tea.
It's perfectly fit. I also love the fact that you changed the name too. It means that like it's involving everyone.
Correct.
A lot of things are going on, and you don't want to be involved, like politically. I love that. You just want a moment to empower people. Bring that community piece back. I love that.
Thank you.
It's really awesome. And I know that you work with. You mentioned this briefly, but I want to kind of go into it a little bit more. That you work with different communities and you work with people with different languages. And that includes how you host and promote for events, and how you have to reach out to diverse communities. How do your staff and volunteers, not only for T.E.A, but also in general, I know you do a lot of work in the community, health related as well. How do you reach out to those diverse communities, and how do you work with just, I guess, with the languages that they have and trying to find out ways to promote your, CPACS in general?
Right. I think for us, one of comprehensive approach that we have and always been have done at CPACS is that networking, really important. We consider all type of collaboration. One will be your company, right? So that's why I'm
Right.
here today. So we always look out for the new partners,
Yeah.
previous partner but lost connected, and come back again. That also
We always come back.
Exactly right. And also we rely on our staff too, that who have different capacity.
Right.
For example, this is really good example. Like you, when you were with us, okay, you were able to, reach out to the community that where you associate with. For example, the community that where you know of,
Right.
right?
South Asian
So and it's
community.
Asian community. So we were saying that, Nochin, please. Tell your
Always happy to.
tell your community this is what we have.
Right.
We make you go back to your community and
Yeah.
spread the words out. And the same thing with our staff. We ask them, hey, keep involved with your communities. When we interview our staff, we want to make sure how much involvement you have with
Beautiful.
Yeah. So that's really helping a lot. And as I mentioned before, we heavily rely on the partnership and collaboration to get the work done, because with knowing that only the Asian American and Asian Pacific Islander speak over 145 language and dialogues, and then different ethnic groups and things like that. So we really need to work with other people. We
Amazing.
cannot just only be here. I guess not just only working with leaders of communities and also business partners. Looking into of government agencies and county level, state level, even the federal level. So
Right.
really comprehensive approach.
Right. And I'm just thinking about how you mentioned that you look for staff that are actually involved in the communities already, So, of course, like your old employees will somehow manage to find their way back and try to help out in any way that they can. But of course, folks that are already there too, they already have some sort of engagement with the community. I think one of the prime examples, I'm thinking about refugee engagement as well. I know that you particularly have a background in a passionate, like your story behind all of this is very truly meaningful, and I'll let you share that. But also Pabitra too, right? I'm bringing her on this. Eventually, hopefully, I would like to invite her. But being able to reach out to the refugee community, that by itself is very crucial. Having the opportunity to engage with folks that probably don't know what's here, what are the resources that are available to them, and you reach out to them to provide those resources. And CPACS has also helped our community tremendously as well, like the South Asian community quite a bit.
Thank you.
Providing those type of resources, including I know victims of domestic violence, that I have a huge piece in that, but also health related like breast cancer screenings and all kinds of stuff. But I'll let you speak a little bit about the refugee community that you reach out to as well.
Sure. And this is one of the issue, or one of the works that we are so proud of, is that we work with the refugee community in Georgia, assisting them make sure that when they arrive in this country for 3 to 6 months, what help they can get from us in terms of employment, in terms of any government assistance that they're not aware of, even that big things like transportation. For those of you who live in Atlanta, knowing that sometimes the traffic is not so all the
Sometimes, Yotin, sometimes all the time.
I know, right? Now they know that when they come to Atlanta, they was like, then the public transportation is not so accessible as we wish we would like to. So therefore, provide the transportation for refugee folks to be able to get to work, really important. Provide them with the job skills trainings, really important to also help them with any government assistance, like I mentioned before, to apply for it, and really welcome them, make them feel like this is home. Obviously, majority of them or all of them probably not going to go back anytime soon. So how do we make them feel comfortable and feel like home? And which is not an easy job, I can tell you right now. Our team, refugee team, working really hard to make sure that, that we meet the needs of the refugee community. And it's not just only us. We want everyone to really understanding where those communities come from and the needs, and really if you have a chance to really engaging with them, work with them, understand them more, and know where they're coming from. It's a long life process. Basically it's not easy to put someone in different country where you might not have necessary of education background, you might not have even necessary of the different living situation. So we're saying that it's just really difficult and challenge, but we work through it. We see a lot of good result. Many of refugee folks now have a job, sustain in the community, beginning to have a car, a house, a small one, but we see the progress of what we have done, and of course, again, we cannot do it alone. We have to work together.
Absolutely. Yeah. And listeners, if you are interested, Yotin is definitely available. We'll also share the resources on our page as well as on our social media sites. The fact that, you're even offering that as an option, that's amazing. That's definitely incredible work. But if you are interested, listeners, to just join in as a volunteer or share your thoughts, I'm sure Yotin would share his time as well. Yotin, I wanted to ask you as well. I know that T.E.A, you've already talked about that, but do you have any other upcoming events that you would want to talk about and share with our listeners as well today?
Sure. Unfortunately, I would say that with the current works that we do right now, we have many plans, right?
Oh.
But it's nothing that we can announce yet, I guess, because
darn.
we weren't there, right? we want to make sure that we are thinking, okay? We are thinking, okay? That's all I can say. We are thinking of,
Hint.
of course, some fundraising event during the summer.
Okay.
And we want to be creative. Remember I mentioned before, we want to be creative. We want to make sure we know our target audience. Remember I mentioned before. So stay tuned. Yeah, stay tuned on this I guess this platform, and
And
you might
that's
find
cpacs.org.
CPAC.org too. You might find out what event coming up, but we are building up something that we're gonna see if we can announce soon. Thinking about one of the fundraising event that we probably never done before, but still cooking it.
Yeah, that's definitely great work. And of course, if you have anything that you need to share, we'd be happy to share it along with our listeners as well.
Thank you.
As the time moves forward, I'm
Appreciate
sure.
that.
Yeah, I'm sure there'd be different events. Do you mind just sharing the date and the time for T-Walk again? Because I know that's set, right?
Sure. It's gonna be on October 13 from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. and it's gonna be at our main office, CPACS office at Chamblee, Georgia.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And do you have any resources that you can share with our members related to any of the topics that we've already talked about? And that includes, like, you're looking for volunteers as well. And of course, we might be able to help out with that process. But if you want to share anything else, feel free to. This is your platform.
Sure. Yeah, thank you so much. First of all, I really want to thank you for providing this opportunity for me and CPACS to be on this amazing journal that you have here. I am really impressed.
Let's
put it that way. I'm learning a lot today. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
I never thought that I would be learning so much. I'm getting older, right? So
No, you're not.
I need to stop. No,
Nice.
I'm not old. Just kidding. So anyway, really, I want everyone to see if you can go to visit our website and check on our website cipacs.org and get from there. And if you have any question, please feel free to call us as well. Our number is 770-936-0969. And again, thank you so much for listening.
Thank you so much, listeners, and make sure to attend his event and check out his site. They do a lot of good work for the community, and Yotin has been there for 17 years. Remember that. The commitment level is strong and definitely passionate. It's been an honor to have you, so thank you so much, and thank you, listeners. Although the event industry includes a lot of stressful work and late meetings or late events, just remember that every event you help to bring to life creates memories of a lifetime for many people out there. Did you love this episode of Plantastic Events? We'd love for you to subscribe, rate, and leave a review on iTunes. Each week, we'll give a shout out to the Reviewer of the Week. Also, don't forget, we have resources available at stewjap.com. Thank you for listening, and I hope you'll join us next time. Goodbye. Produced by stewjap.com. Music by Justin Mahar.